welcome back to the channel. It is desk tour time. Let's go. Whew. All right, guys. So coming into this, I had three main goals that I wanted for this space. First, I wanted it to be easy to maintain. See, one of the problems I had with my old setup, a lot of that mess came from when I had to switch out cables, when cables would fail, working on my PCs, so I wanted to make sure it was easy to work with. Second thing, I wanted it to be clean. As much as possible, I wanted there to be no visible cables. At the same time, I wanted the desktop to be as clear as possible. I wanted the only things on the desk to be the things that I really needed to be there. And the last thing is I needed it to work for all my multiple uses. I needed it to work for gaming, for streaming, and for filming. Wow, this is not a comfortable position. Let me get my chair. Speaking of my chair, I have the 2020 version of the Secret Lab Titan. Now this is a great chair. I've had it for a couple of years, so it's starting to show its age. I sit in it all day, every day. It's starting to get a little beat up, but you know, it's still really comfortable. I've used cheaper gaming chairs in the past, and this is definitely a step above. The only issue is, it's starting to get a little squeaky. So for the desk, I went for the classic Alex Drawer desk with a Carlby countertop from IKEA. See, IKEA just recently opened here in the Philippines, and I really wanted some drawers. One of the problems with my old setup was that I had nowhere to tuck anything away. So everything that I used fairly often just kind of ended up on the desk. With drawers, we can fix that problem by having a place to tuck everything away, but still having things within arm's reach. So for cable management, what you'll see on a lot of people's setups is these big boxes right underneath their desks. And I really didn't want to have that box. For one, I really don't think it looks good. When you back up from the desk, you can see that box there, and you know, it's not my thing. But the real more important reason is with those boxes, you just kind of stuff all the cables inside and it becomes this big mess of cables. And you might think that that's okay, and it is at first. The bigger problem is down the line when you need to replace a cable or you need to plug something into that power supply you stuffed in there. That's where it becomes a problem, because you have to pull out all those cables and deal with all of that mess, and it's a giant headache. And so what happens is people just kind of run a new cable, don't deal with the mess, and it just hangs there. And I really wanted to avoid it. So the solution that I came up with was this. This little clip has adhesive on the back, so you can attach it to any surface, and you can fit about probably 5 or 6 cables inside. What this allows me to do is group up cables and have a pretty easy way of dealing with just the cables inside. And it's really just a matter of unclipping it, opening up, pulling out the cable, and closing it back up again. Adding a cable is just as simple. So I put these everywhere. It was like 90 pesos for a pack of 50. And this is what I use for all the cable management. So I had these built-in shelves already in my room, and I decided to put my desk right in front of them. And I did this for a couple of reasons. First of all, I wanted to use it as mounting points for basically everything. I wanted everything to be mounted on the shelves so that they didn't have to be mounted to the desk. Second reason is I wanted to use it for cable management, so I didn't have to cable manage on my actual desk. At the same time, my PCs can sit right on top. That means that they're not going to be on the desk. Speaking of PCs, I have 2 of them. I have a gaming PC and a streaming PC, and both of these systems are actually pretty old. They may be old, but they still perform really well. My gaming PC is an Intel Core i7 8700K with 32 gigs of RAM and an Asus 1080 Ti. With this machine, I've yet to come across a game where I feel like I'm not getting enough FPS. My streaming PC is a Ryzen 7 1700 with 16 gigs of RAM and an Asus 1060. It also has an Elgato 4K capture card. This machine lets OBS encode at X264 medium, which is really good quality for my stream. I have an Elgato Stream Deck XL, and it's kind of like the control panel for my whole setup. From it, I'm able to control everything from lights, OBS, audio. It's really powerful. I have 3 sets of lights that I use every day. The first of which are my 2 Elgato key lights. These are really great lights if you need lights in a fixed position, like for streaming. The cool thing about these lights, and in fact the whole Elgato ecosystem really, is that you can control everything from the Stream Deck. I can switch between my filming settings, or my streaming settings, or just straight up turn them off. I really love these lights. They're not the cheapest, but they're really, really good. The second set of lights that I use every day are actually up on my ceiling. I have 4 rails in a square with 8 fixtures on them that have Yeelight RGB bulbs in them. And this is what I use for the ambient lighting in my room. It lets me put colors on the walls. The rails and the fixtures basically let me put them wherever I need them. And because they're RGB, I can set it to any color I want or different profiles. The great thing about the Yeelight RGB bulbs, aside from them not being that expensive compared to things like Philips Hue, I can also control them from my Stream Deck. And basically I can set them to any of the scenes I set up in the app. My last set of lights are actually brand new. I got these 2 small RGB panels from a company called Light. None of my other lights were really suitable for filming anywhere else in my room aside from my desk, so I needed a set of lights that I could move around my room. I wanted to get some proper studio lights, but those are actually really pricey. These are pretty inexpensive, and they actually work really well. I have 3 monitors in my setup. My main monitor connected to my gaming PC is an Asus VG27AQ L1A. It's a 27-inch 1440p panel that's 170 Hz, and this is a great display. It has really high color accuracy, so it's good for content creation as well as gaming. I got it last year, and I can't imagine going back to a 24-inch 1080p panel. Behind me, we have this double stack of monitors, and I've actually had these 2 monitors for 10 years. They're LG IPS 234s, and man, these things have been through a lot. They're starting to show their age though. The brightness really isn't what it used to be, and neither are the colors. All my monitors are mounted on gas arms from a company called North Bayou. My main monitor is on an NB100, and the 2 in the back are on F80s. These are pretty inexpensive arms, but they provide all the range of motion I need so that I can put any of my monitors exactly where I need them. Being able to reposition my monitors easily was really important so that I could set up a camera or access the PC behind it. Audio is one of those things that really make or break content. See, people don't really mind watching content that's doesn't have the best video quality, but once the audio quality is bad, people are out. I'm lucky enough to have a pretty great audio setup. For my mic, I have the legendary Shure SM7B, and this is on a Samson mic arm. For my headset, I use the Beyerdynamic DT990 Pros, and these are really great headphones. I really, really love them. When I first got them, I put them on, played some music, and I swear to God, I had heard things I'd never heard before in songs I'd listened to hundreds of times. These things are great. Aside from that, in games, they're really good for directional audio. I can always tell where footsteps are coming from. They're amazing. I love them so much. They are 250 ohms though, and what that really means is that you can't just plug it into your PC, you need a headphone amp to power them so that they can sound their best. I have the Atom amp from JDS Labs, and this is a really good headphone amp that doesn't color your sound, and it also looks great, so I can keep it on my desk. Unfortunately, I don't think they sell this in the Philippines. I actually ordered it off their website and had it shipped from the US. For my speakers, I use this Sony 5.1 home theater system that I actually found in my dad's closet. I was over at his place and I saw the box in his closet. And I was like, hey, can I have this? And he was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And there we are. I've been using these for a couple of years, and I'm actually thinking about upgrading to some of those Edifier speakers. I heard they sound really good and they're at a really great price point. So maybe in the future. The GoXLR is the central hub for my whole setup. Everything connects to it, even my 2 PCs. From it, I'm able to control any of my volumes really easily because it has physical faders. They're so satisfying to use, and it's just a different experience. There's been a lot of new audio solutions recently, things like the Wave system from Elgato or the new Beacon products. The thing that's missing for me is physical faders. I don't get much use out of the other features of the GoXLR, things like the voice changer or the sample pad. The physical faders, ooh, I love those. I have 2 keyboards on my desk, one for each PC. My main keyboard is the glorious GMMK. This is the original GMMK, not the Pro and not the V2. I really enjoy this keyboard. It has Kale Purples in it, which I really like. The thing that I don't like about it is it's still micro USB, which means I need an adapter to use my coiled cable with it. My other keyboard is the Logitech G Pro. I've been having a lot of problems with this keyboard lately. I keep getting stuck keys, especially the spacebar. I keep cleaning it out and problem doesn't seem to go away. It's really unfortunate because I actually really enjoy the Romer G switches, but I think I'm gonna have to switch it out soon. Back in the day, I was the type of person that would buy one mouse and stick with it until it broke. So the thing that's been happening lately is I've actually been switching out my mouse fairly often. And I blame you, Noctile. My friend Nock is really into mice. Through him, I was exposed to a lot of different mice. My main mouse at the moment is the Pulsar X-Lite Wireless with Super Glides. I really enjoy this mouse. It's a great mouse. It's wireless. V2 is coming soon, and I'm actually really interested in it. On my streaming PC, I have this old Logitech G305. This is the pre-Lightspeed G305. I had this for 3 or 4 years at this point, and I've never had a single problem with it. The main reason I still use it, I change the battery in this once a year. Not even kidding. The battery lasts like 8 months or something. I don't even know. It's so rare that it runs out of battery. So one of the cubbies in the shelves, I designated it the Mouse Garage. Ooh. And in it, I have a bunch of mice. This gives me easy access to all of my mice in case I want to switch out to one. This is the Glorious Model O, and this was my first ultralight mouse. This is the Final Mouse Ultralight Cape Town. This was my main mouse for probably 3 years. This mouse was actually lent to me by Noctile. It's the Extrafy MZ1, and it's a really weird shape. Something worth mentioning, if you use a wired mouse for gaming, then you really need a mouse bungee. This is the Zowie Kamade. If you don't know what a mouse bungee is, you run the mouse cord through this, and it's designed to keep your cord from getting caught on things. In my experience, mice kind of feel lighter when they're on a mouse bungee. This is a pretty expensive one, but there's a lot of cheap options out there. If you don't have one, I promise, get a mouse bungee. So the desk mat I'm currently using is actually an interesting story. I was looking for a good looking desk mat that I could use for these videos, and I came across this company called Macbeth. It's like Macbeth but with a V. They're a local company that make desk mats. It looks great. This is the Macbeth Genki or Genki, one of those. It's a coated mouse pad, and it looks and feels really great. My intention was to have it on my desk for aesthetics. It's actually really nice to game on, but the real plan involves the cubby next to the mouse garage. It's the mouse pad garage. The idea is anytime I want a game, I can choose a mouse pad. This one is the Artisan Zero, which is also my friend Nox. Thanks, Nock. I can lay it out and have a surface to game on. I actually found a bunch of local companies that make mouse pads. Some of them look really promising. I'm just about to order a bunch of them, and I want to see how they stand up against mouse pads like the Aqua Control Plus or the Artisan Zero. So let's talk cameras. My main filming camera is the Sony ZV-E10. That's what I'm using right now. It's actually really reasonably priced for everything that I can do. I just got this camera. I think it's great. My main streaming camera is a Canon 550D. This camera doesn't actually have clean HDMI out. Using this software called Magic Lantern, you can actually make it give you clean HDMI out. So I have that connected to my streaming PC through an Elgato Camlink 4K. The last camera I have is my old Logitech C920. So right now I just use it as a mouse cam if I'm playing games like Valorant. I have 2 foot pedals. I've been saying this for years. Foot pedals are life-changing. My first foot pedal I've had actually for like 5 years, and I got it off Lazada. I don't know what brand it is, but it's made out of metal, has a really long cord, and I have it connected to my streaming PC, and I use it for push-to-talk on Discord. Having a foot pedal for push-to-talk is the best thing ever. I always used to struggle trying to aim while holding, a button, or even worse, trying to hit T on my keyboard. Just found it really difficult. When I got a foot pedal, it made it so easy. I could just focus my hands on playing the games, and yeah, just use my foot to push to talk. The other foot pedal I have is an Infinity USB foot pedal. It has 3 buttons on the one pedal. I have this connected to my gaming PC. I use it for push to talk, but for in-game comms. In Valorant, for example, I have one button that's party chat, one that's team chat, and the other one is inspect. So for the last part of my room, this is my little chill corner. So this is a really good place to just think, write, even take a nap. I think it's really important to have a little corner in your space so you can decompress and just kind of change the scenery even a little bit. At least for me, I think it helps a lot. You'll notice I have these sound panels up here on top. I got those a couple years ago. Honestly, they're not very good. They're really thin and they're not very dense, which are the things that you want out of a sound panel. I actually have another project planned where we're gonna build some that I think will look amazing and will work pretty well. By the way, if you're interested in any of these things that I've mentioned, get subscribed. Like, these projects are all coming soon. That's it, guys. That's my room. It's still a work in progress. We still have a lot of things to do, but honestly, I think it turned out really great. All right, so I'm gonna get out of here, guys. By the way, if you're looking for another video to watch, we did a full video on how we took this room from a complete disaster to, well, this. Later, guys.